like to extend a very warm welcome to you all for this morning's webinar with leading systems integrator Emitac and global IT leader HPE. Today's webinar is entitled Unlocking Your Digital Transformation Goals. This morning we will hear from HPE executives who will outline how its new GreenLake solution will simplify your IT infrastructure whilst maintaining your privacy and control. In addition to this, they will also explain how its financial investment and lifestyle strategies are accelerating digital transformation. But before we hear the presentations from our HPE executives, we're going to firstly hear from Mohammed Namir, Head of Sales at Emitac Enterprise Solutions, who will deliver a presentation which will illustrate how Emitac have established themselves as the leading systems integrator in the Middle East since their inception in 1976, and how they continue to be such a huge success and are really positioning themselves now to be a trusted digital transformation partner. So without further ado, I'd like to hand you over now to Emitac Head of Sales, Mohammed Namir, who will deliver his presentation. Thank you, Mohammed.
Thank you, Mark. Good morning, everyone. Assalamu alaikum, my brothers. I really appreciate your efforts and time invested in attending this webinar. I'm sure it will be very useful, very informative, very fruitful to each and every person attending this event. First of all, I would like to wish you a happy Ramadan. I know we are approaching to the end of Ramadan now, so a happy Eid in advance, and I wish you a very blessing Eid vacation. Definitely nowadays we are passing through difficult times, which is due to the coronavirus, and unfortunately the lockdown, and we are facing a lot of challenges, obstacles here and there, but my friends, don't worry. Of course, as Mr. Einstein was saying, in the middle of every difficult time there will be opportunity. So be positive, be optimistic, and I'm sure there will be huge opportunities after this hard time and this difficult time. I'm sure there will be some lights. I'm sure there will be a lot of happiness, health, success stories to tell to each other. So during this presentation, I want to highlight on specific solutions from Emitac and HPE side, where these solutions will open the opportunities for you, Mr. Customer, and it will be providing specific solutions that is very suitable for you in this hard time. So please bear in mind that these solutions will be provided to you in this time, and it will be very useful to utilize these opportunities as of now. I will go through Emitac introduction as a journey. Emitac is the first ICT organization in UAE, and it was established in 1976 by Mr. Bukhater. Mr. Bukhater, he established Emitac in 1976, and after a couple of years, he flew to the United States, where he met Mr. Packard, who is part of Hewlett Packard HP, which is known nowadays as HPE. So he met Mr. Packard at that time in 1978, and he was looking forward to have a partnership with HPE and to be the sole partner for HPE in UAE. Mr. Packard, he welcomed the idea, but he said, but excuse me, where is UAE? Of course, at that time, UAE was not as famous as nowadays, definitely. So he opened a map, of course, a paper map, where he mentioned, here is where UAE. And they agreed, and Emitac was the sole representative for HP at that time. And of course, it was really very successful journey for Emitac till 1994, where again, Mr. Bukhater invested in healthcare where of course a lot of solutions coming for healthcare and healthcare technologies. So he established a division related to healthcare called nowadays EHS, Enterprise Healthcare Solutions. And definitely after that, the HP was doing very well in UAE, and we were the sole distributor for HP till 2011. After some time in 2006, again, due to the success we were having due to the happy customers we were having as well, Mr. Bukhater decided to open a division for mobility, where at that time mobility was a new technology, a new era, and definitely we established our EMS solution division, which is Enterprise Mobile Solutions. And at that time we were the exclusive partner for BlackBerry in terms of BlackBerry as mobile devices, and the BlackBerry in terms of mobile solutions. Needless to say, of course, we were the authorized service provider for all BlackBerry solutions in 50 countries at that time. Of course, technology never stopped, and of course, the only constant is the change. So Emitac decided to be a gold partner with Microsoft at that time. So we started our journey with Microsoft, and nowadays definitely we are one of the highest tier partner with Microsoft. After that, in 2016, Emitac invested in a private cloud where everyone is talking about the cloud. Every vendor is talking about the cloud nowadays. So we built our own private cloud where we are having specific solutions dedicated, tailored to our customers. And we are having nowadays many customers utilizing our solutions in our cloud center. After that, definitely journey continues, and we started our digital transformation journey with our customers, where the technology again is moving forward, and a lot of disruptive technologies happening nowadays here and there. So we are providing specific solutions when it comes to artificial intelligence, when it comes to paperless, automation, robotics, etc., etc. So we are having these solutions tailored again as use cases for our customers. In 2019, Emitac decided to invest more and more in technologies, and we acquired a company called Lattice. Lattice is a software company that is responsible for services for maintenance applications, where we are providing CAF-AM solutions to our customers. And definitely on top of that, we are embedding these softwares with our services. And definitely this is not the end, and we are investing more and more in our technologies, where we can adapt, where we can provide the right solutions, the cost-effective solutions with our customers. So I would love you to be part of our journey, and definitely there are a lot to come in 2020 and years ahead. Of course, as I mentioned previously, we are approximately 44 plus years old organization in UAE, where we are having so many projects and success stories, more than 1,000 definitely. And we are having more than 500 customers in the region, in UAE and in the region. And to provide our solutions, as I was mentioning, 10 key solutions, of course, we are having a strategic partnership with best-in-breed organizations and vendors and OEMs. Having a great history we are having very financial stability and capability. We are as well providing the right services, the right solutions with our trained, experienced, and certified sales, pre-sales, and engineers. Definitely our vision, mission, values, they are all around the digital transformation. You know, nowadays everyone is talking about automation, everyone is talking about artificial intelligence, how the future will be, how can we adapt to the future. So our core values, our vision is entitled to help and to support our customers, our environment towards these directions. What offers we are providing from Emitac side? Of course, hybrid IT in terms of servers, storage, in terms of networking, active networking, passive networking, switching, routing, IP telephony, wireless, and even cabling. So we are providing mostly everything related to hybrid IT, where we can provide a turnkey solution to our customers in terms of infrastructure. When it comes to security, of course, we are partnering with specific leaders in terms of firewalls, definitely in terms of backup, in terms of DR solutions, and again, DR automation. So this is part of our security portfolio. A cloud, I mentioned about our Emitac private cloud, but however, we are partnering with Microsoft for Azure, and definitely we can provide CSP solutions from our side with Microsoft. When it comes to modernizing the operation and modernizing the applications, we are providing specific solutions for identity access management, for SIM solutions, for definitely mobile device management, etc., etc. On top of all of these, we are having our own expertise to provide the ISO certification guidance, how to be a certified organization. And on top of that, we are having our own partnership with the specific organizations to provide consultancy for the entire IT data center. Next generation solutions, it is about Lattice that we acquired last year, where we are providing next generation solution in terms of maintaining and serving our customers for the CAF-AM requirements and solutions. We are encapsulating all of these offerings definitely with services, be it annual maintenance contracts, specific SLAs, be it even we are providing outsourcing engineers whenever required. We are providing managed services. Of course, managed services mainly we are providing it with our cloud customers. So we are encapsulating all of these solutions with services, so it will be integrated solution with peace of mind to our customers. Going back to HP, nowadays we are having the highest level of partnership with HP. We are a platinum partner in terms of providing solutions from HPE, HP Enterprise, and we are platinum partner in terms of providing the services of these HPE solutions, as mentioned here and illustrated in these two certificates. The key wins with HPE for 2020 for the last couple of months, I'm very proud and I'm very honored to announce the project of Central Bank of UAE with HPE, where it is entitled for building the data center and the DR in terms of infrastructure for central bank. And ENOC, actually, we have conducted a couple of projects there, and they are very successful. And on top of that, we are closing very actually, we have closed very important and strategic deal with HPE and VMware very recently. National Bank of Al Quwain, again, it is about infrastructure solutions, mainly about HPE storage, but it is not only HPE storage, but it is again encapsulated with many other solutions and technologies. IFCO as well, we have a closed IFCO deal with HPE where it is related to infrastructure solutions and building automated DR. These are our esteemed, our prestigious customers. Being in the market for the last 44 years, I am sure we are having references maybe everywhere, I can say it. We are available in most of the clients' data centers, be it government in terms of federal governments, in terms of local governments of Dubai, of Abu Dhabi, and other Emirates as well, in terms of oil and gas, in terms of banking, in terms of healthcare, definitely, telco, most of the industries, be it retail, be it manufacturing, we are available and we are having our own dedicated and tailored solutions to our customers. So that's all from my side. And these are our partners, our OEMs, definitely HPE and Aruba as part of HPE. We are partnering with Aruba for the Wi-Fi solutions, and definitely Micro Focus, which is, again, it is ex-HP company where we provide the specific solutions from Micro Focus. So these partnerships and these OEMs are led from our side to provide the right solutions for you, to provide the integrated solutions for you with our added value services and our added value consultancy. Definitely needless to say, to be partnering with these OEMs, we are having the required certifications, trainings for all the entire organization, from pre-sales designing up to the implementation. So you are in safe hands in Emitac engineers and sales team. That's all from my side. If you need anything, please feel free to contact me. My name is Mohammed Nimr. I'm the head of sales in Emitac. Thank you. And if you have any question, please feel free to contact me. Thank you a lot.
Thank you, Mohammed, for a fantastic and very detailed presentation. I think you clearly demonstrated the journey Emitac has embarked upon since 1976 and why you're such a trusted partner and continue to be such a success in the IT ecosystem. I was also really enthused by your optimism. We are in the midst of a global crisis in the form of COVID-19, but as you said, where there are challenges, there is opportunities, and I think that's the sort of optimism we really need during these difficult times. And I think your message sets a perfect tone for the rest of this morning's webinar. So congratulations on some of the key wins you recently secured, and I'm sure Emitac is going to continue to be a major success in the era we're now calling the fourth industrial revolution. So thank you very much, Mohammed. And now I'm going to hand you over to Shidich Saxena from HPE to deliver his presentation on HPE GreenLake.
Morning, everyone. Thank you all for joining. And I'm here to talk to you about HPE GreenLake and how really this model has grown over the last decade or so, and especially in these times, how we are seeing increased interest from our customer base and from our partners. So the agenda that I intend to go over today is, one, looking at challenges in these unprecedented times and what are the market trends around these. GreenLake, how does it help you? What is the model about in the first place? How does it help you improve cash flow, preserve important capital that you may want to lock away for something else that you may want to invest in, or maybe hold that off for next year? benefits, some of our success stories that we have seen, and then I'll just leave it there for questions. So let me first start with just a small introductory video.
Getting the cloud experience outside the public cloud isn't just wishful thinking. It's HPE GreenLake, bringing the cloud experience to your apps and data, even the ones that can't go to public cloud, letting you consume everything as a service. So you can focus on innovation and delivering new experiences to your customers. Together, we determine what workloads you need, give you just the capacity you need to get started, and give you the power to add more with a click, while you pay as you go for it all. No over-provisioning, no underutilization. HPE GreenLake works with everyone you work with. This one, that one, pretty much all the ones. HPE GreenLake brings the cloud experience to you with agility, control, and speed in a single window. Clouds, edges, data centers, unified. Plus experts who can manage everything so you can innovate more and get to market faster, up to 65% faster, while developers can deploy without constraints to launch the next app or the next big thing. You can't get this from imitators. You can only get it from HPE, the partner that's been doing it for a decade. For a cloud experience 99% of customers are staying with. Just GreenLake it. So let's rewind. Get everything as a service, pay as you go, add capacity with a click, and have it managed for you. That's the cloud experience brought to your apps and data. Experience HPE GreenLake.
Okay, so depending on what aspect of business are you in today as a customer, the challenges that you face every single day are different. If I ask this question on what is a challenge to a CIO, he would say agility and innovation. How does he ensure that when he sees a requirement today, he doesn't wait 6 to 9 months from the time the need is conceptualized to the time that equipment is actually inside his data center ready to go? And also, how do you fuel innovation? How do you free up your resources so that they can get off the mundane routine IT tasks of planning and forecasting for next year and still not get 100% accuracy, and they can move on to more tasks that they were originally hired for, which associate more with the IT? If this question goes out to the CFO, his first and number one priority would be to lower IT costs. The ask there would be that how do I align my costs of IT to a business outcome? How do I measure it? And that would be a number one priority for him. A CTO would probably have all of these, and he would also have the need to say, I need to have proper control on my resources. Where am I spending them? What kind of performance am I getting out of it? What with respect to security, compliance of my data? And how do I improve sustainability around all of this? To add to that, in times today, this has actually changed, not much, but then again, it falls more in line with the model that we've been discussing. The immediate need to conserve cash, not spend capital right away. The rapid adoption of changes and practices and tools in general. When I say this, you would have more of a need of hybrid and multi-cloud emergency extensions that you're providing. And so many more. When you say transitioning to a new normal, how do I ensure that my at-home employee experiences are acceptable? The norm today is also not to have the best of technology available. It's more to do with how do I simplify and maintain uptime at the most acceptable performance. And then again, also, how do I have acceptable service delivery from my partners around this? And the last, of course, is risk management. The more we all work from different locations, from outside our core traditional way of working, from our offices, we see that we face new threats and new attacks from everywhere in general. From there, moving on to the trends, when 10 years back, some of our competitors came out and said everything in the world would move to the cloud, HPE was the first organization to come out and say, not everything can go on to the cloud. There has to be a mix. The world will remain truly hybrid. You need to have some of your workloads which remain on-prem and some of your workloads which can move off to a private or a public cloud. Today, that's developed a little more. When you say cloud, there are a whole lot of questions that were probably not uncovered back then. More to do with, what about latency costs? What about security costs? What about shadow IT? All of these have again added further. We've seen today that there's another trend that customers, you are talking more about workload as a service. You talk about running a project end to end with its total cost defined, and then measuring outcome for that project against what was already invested. Application deployment is moving to containers. This has been coming for a while, but now even more than ever. While we say in this environment that we are not investing any more in new application builds, deployment is still moving to containers. And more consumption-based models are emerging as the preferred option. With that, let me just introduce the three basic options, and then I'll get into what GreenLake really is. So the traditional way of purchasing used to be that you go out, you see a need for a certain IT infrastructure, you set out an RFP or you call some vendors in, they give you certain quotes, you purchase it, you pay for it. That's a traditional way of purchasing. The second is more of lease, where you still buy it upfront, you still buy that capacity, all of it upfront, but you pay for it over a period of time, just like how you pay a home loan or a car loan. The third, which is GreenLake, which is coming in today, is more as a pay-as-you-go model, which is to bring together the best of both worlds. One, the capability to burst whenever you feel the need for resources, and also to shrink when you don't feel the need for resources, and to have your costs associated with exactly what you need today, and you pay for your IT just like you pay for your electricity and water. That is GreenLake. Now, HPE, our CEO, has announced that by 2022, we would move completely onto an as-a-service organization. And what that means for our customers is that we want to be the edge to the core, to the cloud, platform as a service provider to our customers. We are providing the cloud experience everywhere. It doesn't have to be in your data center hosted somewhere or co-located at some of our tier 2, tier 3, tier 4 providers. We're saying that that cloud experience really needs to go from the edge to the core and even to the cloud, wherever it is sitting. Now, let me explain the model. IT resources in general, the way we consume IT resources, it's never a straight line. It can never be a straight line. It depends on what aspect of business you're in, but it would never be a straight line. For example, if you're an airline, when you launch a certain promotion, you see the spike for resources, and when that's done, the resources requirements goes down again. If you are a mall, when you have, let's say, a Dubai shopping festival, that's where you see the spike for resources. Or maybe at the end of a month, when you're processing payroll, that's when you see a spike for resources. But it's never a straight line. However, the traditional way of purchasing is always in blocks. You buy a certain set of resources, IT resources, you consume it over a period of time, and when you have a refresh cycle, or you've run out of resources, whichever comes first, you add in another set of infrastructure, whether that's compute, whether that's storage, whichever it would be, and then you move on. The trend around this, and this is where it gets interesting, is, and this is a 451 research company, and it has also been done by Gartner. At the end of year 4, and mind you, as a standard in our region, standard refresh cycle could be anywhere between 4 and 6 years. But at the end of year 4, what we have found out is the compute utilization is only at 59% from the resources that were actually purchased. And same at the end of year 4, the numbers for storage are even worse. The utilization average is around 48%. So what does that mean? All that capital, all that infrastructure procured at 4 years back has been sitting idle. And maybe another year from now, you would run out and then you would purchase again, or you would refresh it, you would purchase again, whichever way. What that also means is that you run the risk of grounding yourself on resources when you have a new opportunity, and you may have to let go of that opportunity because you don't have the resources. That's where this block line is actually the last part of it, where it comes under the staggered line, when you run out of resources. With GreenLake, what we are saying is that we sit with you, we plan with you on resources that you need today and outcomes that you're hoping to achieve from today. And we build that infrastructure inside your data center in your control with a little bit of a buffer, more than what you need today. So what that immediately does is, first of all, you don't invest in capex right from the very beginning. So all this capital is freed up. You pay for these resources, by the way, just like how you pay for cloud. You pay for it when you consume it. So all these resources, that the first part of it is saving. The second is where these resources are actually planned capacity ahead of time, ahead of demand. So you never run the risk of running out of resources. In case you have a new project at a short notice, you're ready to go, not in weeks, not in days, but actually in minutes. This capacity can actually be provisioned whichever way you want as a customer. What we plan with you is a minimum commit level, which, by the way, is lower than your IT resource requirement today. So when you get a monthly utilization report and your bill for the month, it is exactly the resources that you consume. What we do and what we can include is, for servers, we can do it per VM, per core, per physical server as well. We have customers who have come back to us and said, I have resources who go inside the data center 5 times a day. So when I don't see the need for resources, I can actually just shut it down. So we even price it per server, per physical server. Where it becomes a true consumption-based model is also when we say storage. Now, storage we do per GB. And when we say per GB, we don't say the amount of disks allocated by you as a customer. We actually calculate per GB of your monthly utilization purely on the basis of data written on the disks. And that's where this becomes a pure consumption-based model. We do it for multi-vendors. I'll cover that on the next slide. We do it for operating environments that could be Nutanix, Microsoft, Azure, doesn't matter. We cover all of it. We have our partnerships across. What differentiates us is that when your usage goes up, the billing goes up. We know this. When the usage remains the same, the billing remains the same. We know this. Where we are different, where we are truly different, is when your utilization comes down, we're the only organization, even today in the market, that can bring down the billing as well, just to keep it in line with your requirements. And that's where it becomes, again, a true partnership model. What you get in this model as a default is enterprise-grade support, the hardware that you choose, capacity management, which is done in the form of tools which we provide, which are cloud cruisers, and consumption analytics portal, which I'll cover again on the next slide, and usage and cost metering. The optional components around this are administration, operations. We even do this along with our partner ecosystem. There are some partners such as Emitac who are capable enough, who have been tested by HPE over time, and we know that they are capable to deliver some aspects of this project delivery. In terms of software, the list that you're seeing on the screen is not the as is and end of it. These are just some of the partnerships that we have in the region. We can do Microsoft, SAP, EDB Postgres, Cloudera, Docker, Commvault, Veeam, Red Hat, name it, VMware, name it. There are some customers we actually close VMware, ELA as a service under the GreenLake model. So we have done that. But where it becomes interesting is where some of our customers come back and say, I want to run it as a project. And I want to run the whole thing where I can measure the cost and not invest big. For example, VDI as a service, where the customer says that if I have 2,500 users, I do not want to start off with 2,500 users, implement it and roll it out and test it out for adoption. By the time that happens for all 2,500 of them, it's probably 4 years and it's time to refresh. So we do the entire project as a service, as a small start, where we do the project in batches. We propose to start small, measure success out of it, relay back to your management the success or the outcome of that project, and then increase from there, or maybe add a new scope, or maybe add more users from there, whichever way it goes. What that's done in this model is, one, it's the speed and agility is just tremendous. This infrastructure is sitting inside your data center in your control and is ready to go in minutes, which means that when you feel the need for resources, you can just simply use that buffer and then get out of it when you don't feel the need. So you never run out of resources. You actually have capacity ahead of demand. The ROI that you get out of your projects is at least 30% plus. There's no wasted capital, there's no overspending, and there's never an under-provisioning. The two charts that you see here are the old world versus the new world way of working. Right? So the old world was that you make a huge investment, and maybe somewhere around the way, around let's say year 3, year 4, year 5, whichever way that project is planned, you start realizing benefits or start getting some revenue out of that investment that you did. The new way of working today is that you make an investment which is small, which is in line with the revenue that you can actually quickly showcase to your management out of it, and then invest more and then realize more out of it. So it has to be in line with revenue that you actually generate from that project. Like I said, we are doing projects on VDI as a service, compute storage. These are pure play infrastructure as a service, which we have been doing. We are doing projects around SAP HANA as a service, virtualization as a service, DR as a service. That's another thing that we have been focusing on. Small and medium enterprises, or even large customers, whichever way it works, they've come back and they've said, we want to run a project and we want to run a DR as a service. I'll pay for it only when I use it. And that's something that we've actively been working on. VDI is, like the example that I gave you, is actually one of our success stories, and we can share that more with you as we go. Now, how does it work? And what's the game changer in this is actually, I would say, the GreenLake Central, or the analytics portal that we have. And I'll probably cover that just a bit on the next slide. I'll show you some screenshots as well on that. But when we sign a master service agreement with you, just like the cloud, we sign the per unit prices with you. And just to even give it a more of a cloud flavor, what we sign with you is the more you grow, the unit prices keep coming down. So you have prices which are already in your master service agreement, whether that's for compute, whether that's for storage, or it's for an entire project as a workload as a service, whichever way you have signed up for. It's already in your MSA. When we receive, and then there's the team assigned from HPE is an account support manager, a technical account manager. And we cover everything from end to end, which means that the administration aspect of it, the firmware upgrades, the patch upgrades, the account support manager, the technical account manager, the enhanced call handling, and of course, the infrastructure that goes with it. All of it is provided as one unit price. And in some cases, we even have training and rollout and outcome measurement all bundled into this. So you get everything as a service in one unit price. When there is a need for scaling up resources, you just place a one-page service request. You already, as a customer, you already have the unit prices clearly defined with you, just like the cloud. So when you sign the change request, you don't negotiate again with HPE. There's no time lost with procurement. There's no time lost with getting approvals secured. And you have that infrastructure ready to go. It's already getting shipped by HPE because we have not lost any time along. There is a planned replenish cycle as well. That's where you have the TAMs and the ASMs assigned from HPE. We give you a monthly utilization report and the portal where you can actually log in and you can check exactly how much you have consumed today as you stand today. So what that's doing, what this portal really is doing today, is it gives you a unified dashboard and it gives you an operations console. The beauty of this is that it kind of even tells you exactly how you need to forecast. So when you get into this portal, you can club in not just the GreenLake portion of it, but the AWS and the Azure and whichever other stack that you have all into one place. And tomorrow, if you were to run, let's say, a new project, and you know the resources that you need, you get onto this portal and you simply feed in your requirement that you see, and it will tell you how much it would cost you to put it onto an AWS, how much would it cost you to put onto an Azure, and how much would it cost you to put onto a GreenLake because of a pre-negotiated contract that you already have. And based on that, you can actually choose where you wish to go. That's where it becomes the feedback that we've received across is that this is a game changer. Because there's no time lost. The customer gets to play with it whenever he wants to. And by the way, you can log in as and when you wish to do so. It even tells you on a monthly basis what was your percentage utilization and the buffer that you have still sitting inside your data center, which you're not paying for. So in case you want to run a momentary, a small project, you can actually do so just by knowing exactly how many resources that you have planned already. Or let me give you another example. We have some customers who want to do a cross charge to some other departments, some other units, and they are the central IT department, let's say for 5 other subunits, and they want to charge them for the resources that they are actually providing to them. That also is something that we can build into the analytics portal. There's automation which is already being addressed. That's what the portal looks like. So you would, if I had more time with you, or maybe over the next few presentations, if you reach out to Emitac to us, we can go over this in a little more detail. I can even show you a demo of how this works for some of our live customers. But essentially, the first block that you see over here is, well, more to do with CFO or even IT, that he can actually log in and see how much is he actually spending, and he can drill down to per server or per storage or per category, whichever it may be. How much is he spending in total for storage? How much is he spending in total for servers? Or even for a certain project, how much is he spending for SAP HANA as a service? All of that he can actually just drill in from here. For IT and operations is the second piece that you see on the right, the top right, where you can actually get in and see how much percentage utilization of resources and how much more do you actually have. And your monthly utilization reports lead to your monthly bills that you receive from HPE, along with a baseline number which has already been signed up for. And then you have the third block over here, which is more on risk, and then you have more to do with development and ops, more around this. I can cover more on this as we go. But just to let you go, before I let you go, this just the last 2 slides here. We've been in this business for over 10 years. We were at 730 odd customers in October 2019, which was, I think, 6 months back. That's when our financial year actually closes, October 19. And ever since then, we've actually added about 45 customers. That's the extent to which this is growing. The channel specifically, the channel GreenLake business has been growing at 250% year on year, consistently for the last 4 years. And there's another little nugget that I want to throw in here. Of the 820 plus customers that we have, which total up to around 3.5 billion in contracts, we have only lost 1 customer till date. We have never lost a customer. And that's partially got to do with how he consumes it, how he pays for it, the look and feel of having a cloud-like model, but on-premise inside their data center within their control, and obviously having a faster go-to-market whenever he feels the need for resources. That 1 customer also that we lost was actually in Turkey, and that customer we lost because that customer filed for bankruptcy. In no other case have we ever lost a customer. And let me tell you, when I say ever lost a customer, there's one more point that I have to add over here, and that is that we when the refresh happens at the end of 5 years, you as a customer don't go back to your management to secure a new budget for doing the refresh. But quite simply, the refresh is more to do with either you say that I'll take this infrastructure back at zero cost to myself, or you as HPE do the refresh for me now and continue charging me at the same or lower unit prices. And that's again something that we sign up from the very beginning. And that's why we have never lost a customer. Because some of our references, as the model has grown, we have actually built references per industry vertical. You'll see some of the names which are known to us here in the UAE, some which are more relevant to our geo. Emirates Global Aluminium has been with us for many, many years. Injazat, Mubadala, Transcard. We've only been growing. This side of business has actually grown tremendously. Just to do a quick recap. One, you can scale up immediately. You don't wait for the resources. You scale up in minutes. You pay as you go, just like the clouds. There is just you have these resources already with you, and you only pay for exactly what you consume. You reduce the risk. You keep the workloads on your premise, in your data center, inside your control, but you pay for them only when you consume them. You have benefits. There's no, from variable payments, there is no upfront investment from you as a customer. You would only start receiving your first invoice when the infrastructure is implemented and ready to go inside your data center. And that's again something where we as HPE have our skin in the game, where we say that we want a true partnership model, and we'll only charge you once that infrastructure is ready to go. You eliminate the cost of over provisioning, and you free up your resources to focus more on innovation. So that's it from me. Any questions?
Hi, Shidich. Thank you very much for that very detailed presentation. I think you articulated your points extremely well. I've got a few questions here. Yeah, I've got a few questions from Kaiser Nassim. He's referencing the analytics in one of your diagrams. He wants to know, is this analysis and insights of usage of the GreenLake services, or is this analysis and insights from data to enable data-driven business decisions by the entity?
Okay, so that's a good question. We do the analysis. The portal is enabled to handle both. So the first and the basic that you get along with any GreenLake contract is your usage and your utilization. We don't go anything beyond the usage level as a standard. So what you would get is exactly the resources that you're consuming. How much have you consumed this month? What is your bill at the end of the month likely to be? How much buffer do you have, which is sitting inside? If you were to scale up or run some other project, what more do you need? How quickly can you run it? That's number one. The second that the tool is capable to do is actually to integrate your, let's say, the other cloud workloads that you have, or cloud pricing or contracts that you already have in place, which would be AWS or Azure or VMware for that matter, and get that all into one single dashboard. So in case you intend to grow tomorrow, how much would you spend, let's say, on a new project, if it was to be on any of these workloads, GreenLake or Azure or AWS, whichever it would be. And then you have a comparison ready to go. You decide which model is it the most financially convenient, financially acceptable and convenient for you as a customer, and go for that.
Thanks, Shidich. He's actually got another question as well, Kaiser. He just wants to know, when you made reference about 850 clients, are these clients like Emitac or clients of Emitac GreenLake?
No, no, it's not Emitac. So the customers, when I say customers, these are end customers. They're across. And Emitac is actually one of our leading partners in the region. This model, what we have seen, and why the channel ecosystem, why I specifically manage the channel ecosystem today is, like I said, the channel ecosystem has grown 250% year on year, consistently worldwide for the last 3 years. And that's why I'm doing this here in the region, where we are building with some of our leading partners who are already on board with us. We are growing them, and we're also onboarding new partners. We are getting new partners who are interested in knowing more and working specifically with us only and only on GreenLake. The new partners that onboardings that we are doing today, 70 to 80% of them want to start with us with GreenLake first. So we are doing both. We have some of our leading partners like Emitac, which we are nurturing, we are growing, we are jointly going to the market with them. And then we have some new partners which we are also bringing on.
Oh, great. That's great, Shailesh. Look, I've got a couple of questions for you as well. Obviously, I really enjoyed the presentation. I'm a bit of a stickler for trends, and your slide, the trends that are compelling. You sort of said one of the trends was consumption-based models are emerging as a preferred option. I think it would be fair to say before COVID-19 that was the preference, but has that business really need to optimize their costs? So do you see an even accelerated now demand for consumption-based models?
Absolutely, absolutely, and that's a good question. Before this whole situation erupted, like I said, we had been growing, and we had been growing tremendously over the last 3 years, especially because as a market we had started maturing, and it was not just about my customers coming back and saying, oh, here's my CapEx budget that I need to consume, and here's my OpEx budget that I need to go after. That trend changed long back. Everyone was looking for new ways of doing business. After this situation erupted in Jan, the extent of presentations has just gone to an extreme. Me and some of my counterparts together, within MISA alone, are doing close to about 12 to 13 presentations every week. And that's with a simple reason, right? No customer now in today's time, when it's a little unpredictable, he doesn't want to lock in his capital for something. He needs to justify far more for it. He wants to realize benefits and then invest more along the way. And at the same time, he still wants to secure himself, and he wants to do those new projects which he had planned for originally. For example, VDI, for example, DR, for example, SAP HANA as a service, whichever way. Now when he gets to do all of that as a service and only pay for it when he consumes it, and tag that whole project with a certain outcome on which he would measure it, it takes the monkey off his back, and he says, I feel much lighter, and I don't have to lock my capital, and I can measure it against a success. And that's with all the more, with that as a reason, today, more than ever, we're doing far more. We're doing far more. And everyone's got on board. Today, our account managers, our partner business managers, our point next sellers, whichever aspect of business you are at as HPE, and even all our channel partners like Emitac, like the others, we're seeing huge and increased interest towards GreenLake. And in the market, if you look it up, and we can talk more subsequently after this, we are still the only true consumption-based workload, complete solution provider in the market today. And that's where we intend to go. That's where we intend to invest in. That's where we intend to be in 3 years from now. The investments today are in excess of $50 million, even in this market, just for this financial year, only and only on GreenLake. So that's how far we are invested in this, and that's how far we are going.
That's fantastic. You know, like obviously, I've seen that the trend is going towards consumption-based models, but with COVID, people have to optimize their spending. So I think that was a superb answer from yourself there. So obviously, you touched on a lot of the capabilities, and there are many of HPE GreenLake in terms of addressing a lot of options and giving customers a lot of autonomy and flexibility. So this is a difficult question, but because to narrow it down, but what would you ultimately say if I asked you directly, what differentiates HPE GreenLake from other sort of rival solutions that you're competing with for market share in your expert opinion?
Okay, so can I take that question and something that I see posted on the chat as well? I'll take both.
Yeah, no worries.
To answer you first, what truly differentiates us is that we are a complete consumption, a true consumption-based model. And we are the only ones in the market which say we are invested more in this. When the customer feels the need to grow, he grows. When he feels the need to shrink, we are the only ones who allow for that shrinkage as well. Number two, we don't measure it the way some of our competitors or imitators, like the video said, claims that we don't measure it by power consumption or how let's say storage only, or let's say how many are actually allocated. We are measuring and charging the customers purely on the data that they are writing on the disk, which becomes a true consumption-based model. And that's with that very reason, some of the partnerships that you actually saw on one of my slides, on the first look of it, you would say, well, these should be competitors to HPE and not partners. And that's the very reason with which some of these so-called competitors are also lining up with HPE in a true partnership model. They are getting in, they're investing with us, whether it's a VMware, ELA, on GreenLake, they don't care, because they know that this model is far ahead in the market, and it is sustained, very well sustained.
So it's collaboration.
It's collaboration across. That list is not limited. Just yesterday, I was having a call on Cumulo. We are almost about to close some Linux. It's just all over. It's just across. And with that, actually, it brings me to one of the questions that I see in the chat about, are you open to banking platforms? Yes, we are. We are open to banking platforms. We are open to healthcare platforms in this stage. We've closed a lot of projects, but then of course, it has to be backed by a certain infrastructure base, which is coming from HPE. It doesn't have to be big, but it's just from a compliance perspective, which needs to have some backing of HPE under it, whether it's infrastructure, compute, whether it's storage, whichever way it is. And then we also need to see the viability of this banking platform, like you have asked, on how far they are willing to go with us in getting our skin in the game. Because remember, some of the multi-vendors are charged out as flat month, because that's the contract they have signed with HPE, where they say, I don't care what the customer does with this, I'm selling it and I'm done. But HPE is here to stay. We are putting our skin in the game. We actually break even only around year 4, because we only charge the customer on a monthly basis, and that too once the infrastructure is ready to go and it's implemented. So we want that level of commitment from the providers in the market as well. And only the ones that stand with us on this or understand and appreciate the model enough with us are the ones that we are on.
That's great. Shiraj, thanks a million for the presentation and for your articulated responses to those questions that I asked and that Kaiser and Asim asked. Thanks a million, Kaiser, for your questions. And for those other participants listening, please share your questions with us, type them into the chat function, and we'll put them to our HPE executives. So without further ado, I'm going to thank Shiraj and say goodbye to him for now. We'll see him later for the Q&A session, but that will be after Wasim Babeli. He is the financial area manager for the Middle East at HPE. So I'm going to hand you over to him now, and he's going to deliver his presentation. And then following his presentation, we'll have a wrap-up Q&A with everybody. So thanks for your patience and so far, and I hope you're enjoying the webinar as much as I am. I think it's been fantastic and very informative and insightful so far. So hand you over to Wasim now. Thank you.
So yeah, good afternoon, everyone. I hope you're all safe and sound and doing well. My name is Wasim. I am the financial area manager for HPE Financial Services. So my background is banking and finance, with around 18 years of experience in that field. I think it has been challenging and exciting times for everyone. I'm personally optimistic, and I can see a light at the end of the tunnel. I feel we can find, and we always find opportunities out of this disruption, any disruption that takes place. And now companies, I'm looking to see companies are starting to adapt with the new norm, including ourselves. And I've read an article, interesting article, where UAE has unveiled two-phase plan to reopen the economy and to strengthen in the wake of the COVID-19 pandemic. So according to the UAE minister, Mr. Sultan, he was talking about accelerating recovery and advancing growth. So the high focus and the investment will be around digital economy and technologies that we have expertise in, such as artificial intelligence, 5G networks, and the Internet of Things. And we've seen with after COVID-19 and how important technology is, right? With smart cities, we're seeing it here in the region, and tech has been proven to be valuable tools in crisis management. For companies in UAE and all around the world, cash flow management is very important, right? Financing additional demands on IT infrastructure to support online businesses and virtual workplaces for the employees. And in the next 20 minutes, I want to share with you how HPE Financial Services is a crucial element of that strategy by providing the economic solutions to our customers, and that needs to accelerate the digital transformation. So, I mean, hats off to CIOs and to you and to everyone right now with you're playing an important role in navigating the crisis, dealing with the employees working remotely, with of course that comes with new cyber threats. At the same time, identifying ways to drive productivity because business should go on, right? So you are key in stabilizing the core business operations while maintaining sales performance. In addition to that, CIOs has different financial drivers as well. So budget that is limited and not growing. So even before the COVID-19, there was limitation in budget. Significant legacy that isn't going away easily. As a matter of fact, many customers are still depreciating legacy while you're looking to go through a digital transformation. So it puts constraints on the balance sheet. And last but not least, the biggest challenge nowadays is managing cash flow. So at this stage, I think we can all agree that cash is king, right? Sufficient cash will be critical for the short-term operations and purchases. And liquidity is extremely important for the survival of the companies. Especially also in our region where there had been significant reduction in oil prices, which also impacts liquidity in the market. So we see and read about the examples every day, right? Customers have high demands that are shaped by your digital experiences. Businesses must continue to innovate and respond to those demands or risk losing your customers to competitors. And the competition is changing constantly. And that is because digital technology dramatically improves the economic and capabilities of every business. And the disruption, even before COVID-19, and the threat of the disruption motivates us all to reinvent ourselves so we can continuously succeed and be sustainable as a business. So in the absence of predictability in the marketplace, companies are seeking flexibility in their IT infrastructure and the investment model which allows them to acquire, manage, and consume IT services and technology you need to run your business. So that's where HPE and HPEFS are playing an important role in easing the cash flow and support our customers during this period. In fact, last week, there was a press release talking about HPFS designating more than $2 billion financing, specifically to help customers with their financial challenges. HPEFS is introducing initiatives which includes payment relief program to help customers acquire new technology as they navigate this uncertain climate. So these solutions include deferred payments, generating cash from existing assets, and matching payment utilization. With the 2020 payment relief program, it's basically our customers can acquire the IT that your business needs today with a reduced payment for the remainder of 2020. This will help navigate temporary cash flow challenges. In case you haven't heard of HPEFS, so HPFS is HPFS is a subsidiary of Hewlett Packard Enterprise and is actually considered to be one of the largest captive finance company in the world, with around $13 billion in our books. We are located in around 52 countries in the world. So our role is to provide investment and lifecycle strategies to accelerate digital transformation. So locally here in UAE, our entity is located in DIFC, and we help. So instead of everything paid upfront, whether it's hardware, software, or service transformation, companies will be able to finance that over the life of the usage, which can range between 1 to 5 years. And we had experience working with government, with enterprises, with SMEs, and finance projects ranging from $100,000 to even $20 million. Each company has its own KPIs, right? And at the end of the day, it's our role to work closely with you and understand what business objective you are trying to achieve, and then design a plan to acquire the technology you need. We have found that majority of the customers are looking to reduce cost, drive efficiencies, and minimize risk. And to name few of our investment solutions, one would be leveraging value in existing assets to fuel digital transformation by unlocking the hidden value in the existing technology assets. So through an asset transfer structure, customers can convert their existing own IT assets into cash while retaining ongoing use and control of it. So this is basically a structure where it puts money in the customer's pocket today. Another investment solution is extended deployment. So this is where customer will be able to match payment to production by obtaining up to 12 months of IT in advance and start paying only upon activation of the hardware. So this will help improve productivity with immediate access to technology without having the risk of losing revenue from the procurement cycle and cost control. So HPFS provides as well traditional leasing options, so with residual investment, and mainly to drive TCO down and refresh technology. So with advanced, so this is something unique that we have offering in the market, and with the advantages of leasing would be aligning your IT usage with your payments, as opposed to paying upfront for the equipment itself, anticipating the changing technology and evolved business requirements with a refresh cycle, also mitigating end of useful life concerns. So there's the environmental concern, and there's of course the difficulty and expensive cost that with leasing, it's basically a smart and economic solution. So at the end of the lease term, you can simply return the equipment, and we can manage to remove it safely in accordance to the environment laws. And it's of course it's a fixed, predictable monthly expense schedule. So that will help our customers to free up the capital for other uses. So there's no down payment, and as such, everything can be included in that in that structure. So we can have hardware, we can have software, we can have service transformation, all in one package and spread over the term from over 1 to 5 years. HPFS will provide financial flexibility to accelerate digital transformation today, tomorrow, and in the future. So as our customers deal with the pressure to accelerate innovation in the age of disruption, we are uniquely positioned to help you build IT investment and life cycle management strategies that will enable your digital transformation and deliver on your goals. We work with our customers in two primary ways to drive real economic value. First, we help to increase long-term investment agility to continually drive innovation. So in addition, we help customers reduce investment risk with untested systems, experimental deployments, or new business models. Second is that focusing on existing infrastructure and operations, we help our customers to extend and extract value from their existing system. And this is really not new to us. We have built expertise and experience over time. Our commitment as well is to bring a solution portfolio that also drives a sustainable or a circular economy approach to IT. We are proud, and Hewlett Packard Enterprise is committed to being a leader in environmental and social progress. And we have been ranked in the top list in the sustainability indexes since 2011, and leading the way in emissions reductions. Also here, if you look at it at a local perspective, UAE has an aggressive green growth strategy. In 2012, His Highness Sheikh Mohammed launched a long-term national initiative to build a green economy of the UAE. And the slogan was a green economy for sustainable development. I believe also Dubai government in 2021, they're going to go paperless, so everything will be digitalized. And through these initiatives, UAE aims to become one of the world leaders in this area. And they are aiming to be the center of the export and re-export of green products and technologies. Many of the HPFS solutions contribute to a more circular economy, putting equipment back in the market, minimizing e-waste, encouraging uses versus owning. It's really about meeting business and sustainability goal. Also interesting enough, 98% of HPE product material is recyclable. So we have HPFS has been doing IT asset refurbishing and remarketing for over 20 years now. We have one of the biggest technology renewal center, one in the US, one in the UK. And last year, we processed around 4 million assets, remarketing 89% of them and recycling 11% in a secure, environmental responsible way. So with that, I'll end my presentation and pass it back to you, Mark. Thank you for listening, and I'm happy to answer any questions you may have.
Thanks, Wasim. Thanks very much for another excellent presentation. I think very much like Shilic, you articulated your points really well. We don't have any questions, I don't think, as of yet, from our participants watching in, but I've got a few for you. You've touched on HPE in terms of sustainability, and I think it's fair to say that HPE are a real global leader in terms of sustainability. But during COVID-19, and like obviously people optimize costs, and sometimes recycling and sustainability isn't always the cheapest option. So do you think that's going to, I'm not saying HPE are going to change tact in terms of their sustainability goals, but do you think other businesses will maybe, move away from their sustainability objectives in order to optimize costs? Is that something you'd be worried about?
Not really. There's a big trend around sustainability. Even now, it has been proven and seeing with the lockdown, they're seeing lots of benefits of the carbon, how much you're saving carbon and environment. We in Europe and the US, especially in Europe, it's been a bit more advanced, where our HPFS are winning deals not around solutions, not around capabilities, but around sustainability. So HPFS provides like a list and a report around how much the companies will be saving. And it's a nice report where it shows how many cars of monoxide have been saved and the carbon and everything. And it shows each component that is financed by HPFS and purchased from HPE technology, each component purchased at the end of the term, what happens to these components by serial numbers. So either it's recycled in an environmental way, or sold or being used for another component. So here in the last 2 years, I've been having these discussions with banks and government entities who have been very interested to know more about our sustainability capabilities. Most companies are now proud to mention, if you look at the financial reports and the strategy they have, is how much they are contributing to save the environment. And our capabilities, HPE and HPFS, are contributing and helping them by providing these type of reports and helping companies to be more sustainable.
Yeah, fantastic. And I noticed in your presentation, Erskine in Scotland, I've got family there, and one of HPE's. Have you ever been there?
So I haven't been to Erskine as the renewal hub. I've been to Scotland, of course. My wife is Scottish, so yeah.
Okay.
But we had BBC, and we had, I think, CNN, if I'm not mistaken. We had lots of news around our technology renewal hub in Erskine. It's one in the US and the UK. It's one of the largest. Actually, we are leaders in sustainability. We've been doing it for the last 20 years. As I've mentioned, we won big deals with customers. You've heard, of course, from UK, like Tesco and other big companies around the capabilities of sustainability, because they have KPIs, and this is really important for them.
Yeah, no, fantastic. And as you touched upon, HPE for the last 20 years has been a real global leader in sustainability, and it's been fantastic. Another program that you're doing, which has got a lot of good press attention, is the $2 billion in financing that you've made available for businesses to weather the COVID-19 storm. I think that's a fantastic initiative. But just how much demand has there been from a lot of the businesses and customers you're working with in terms of trying to find those financial, distress packages and whatnot?
There been huge demand, actually, after launching the programs. It doesn't matter how the company, in my opinion, is big, how many employees it has, if even revenue or profit, if there's no cash, sustainable cash in place, the company would not survive, right? And that's what's happening with our customers and companies. They're all great companies, they all have great strategies, but with lack and shortage of cash, it will impact their business. So after launching these 2020 payment relief programs, we've had lots of conversation with our customers. We've helped a lot of them, working with them around these programs, and we're having lots of hype around it. Like my colleague Shitish was being busy with the consumption model. I've been very busy with our customers and partners after launching these programs.
Yeah, fantastic. And look, one of your slides as well, you shared some numbers with us. And one of the numbers that jumped off the page at me was you have 13 billion in net portfolio assets. And I know you help businesses, reduce costs, minimize risk, drive efficiency. You help them accelerate transformation. But how have you had such success? Financial services is obviously a very dog-eat-dog environment, but you've obviously managed to sustain success over a large period of time. In your opinion, what is it that differentiates HPE Financial Services from other providers?
So yeah, that's a good question. It's our expertise is in IT, right? And we've been here as HPFS, we've been established for the last 20 years now, and in the region here the last 10 years. We are dedicated to help our customers with their transformation, digital transformation. So from that perspective, we are very competitive rates. From rates perspective, we are very competitive in regards to providing solutions. Our solutions are unique in the market. There are lots of solutions that no one has here in the market. You might find them maybe in Europe, yes, but we are the only entity as HPFS that have been established for a long time, and we have strong local presence. Yeah. We've done mega projects with Emitac as our partner. We did big data center and cloud transformation projects successfully implemented with Emitac, especially compared to banks, we are not picky. We're here to help our customers. If it includes hardware, software, services, third-party solutions. Altogether, it's our interest to see what's a customer's business objective, what he's trying to achieve. And I mean, up to date, there's touch wood, there's no one customer that we told him that we can't help you. We always find a way to help our customers.
Brilliant, brilliant. I think that's a good way to finish, Wasim, there, by saying that you always have a solution to their problem. So I think that's a great message to send out. But yeah, I don't see any other questions coming in from those participating. But I just want to thank you for an excellent presentation and for answering my questions. Brilliant responses. And I want to thank everyone for joining us today. I appreciate, you know, everyone's very busy at the minute, and we've been on since 11 a.m. So I'm conscious of the fact everyone's really busy and has to get back to their day-to-day grind. I want to thank everyone who done a presentation today. I want to thank Mohammed Namir from Emitac Enterprise Solutions for his presentation. I want to thank Shidich Saxena from HPE. He's the channel lead for his presentation and his responses. I've seen it. There's been a lot of interaction online as well from the panelists to the participants as well, which has been great to see. And last but not least, I want to thank Wasim Babeli for his final presentation there. I want to thank all of you for logging on, for registering for this webinar. I hope you found it informative, insightful, and obviously some of you that haven't shared any questions, I know sometimes people don't like publicly or airing their questions. So after the conclusion of this webinar, please reach out to us and we'll put you in contact with people from Emitac and from HPE, and you can take the conversation forward from there. But from me, on behalf of CPI Media Group, we want to thank you for your participation today. We want to thank everyone for their role in today's successful webinar. And from me, it's just a big thank you, and it's been a great honor for me to do this webinar, and I've really enjoyed it. And just in the current climate, stay safe, follow guidelines, and yeah, hopefully after all this is over, we'll be able to meet in person again and have a coffee. But from me, thanks very much, and just want to wish you all a happy Eid. Thank you.